Lolo, I know it's been a while, but today's video is gonna be a 1 month lock update. Actually 1 month and 2 weeks, and that is super ironic since I actually started to film both a 2 week and a 1 month lock update before I just gave up. It wasn't happening. But I am here now with a 1 month and 2 week lock update, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, I know these look like 2-strand twists, and they are, but I actually started my locks with the crochet method. And if you do not know what the crochet method is, I have my definition right here. The crochet method is a locking method just like 2-strand twists, coils, braids, etc., where hair is bundled or crocheted together in order to form a lock. They use a special hook in order to do these, and the locks typically have a more uniform shape, and using this method significantly reduces the risk of unraveling people face when they use starter methods like 2-strand twists and or coils. So it's basically like speedrunning the maturity time for locks, and I use this method because my hair was too short at the time for 2-strand twists based on the density of my hair and the part size that I wanted. Mostly for aesthetic purposes, to be honest. And I know that starting locks just because they look good is generally looked down upon in this lock community, and I understand why, because Black people have a lot of history with their hair, a lot of pain and suppressed expression behind these crowns that do not always feel like crowns. And I understand the feeling of invalidation that would arise from seeing something that was so, well, again, looked down upon in the past and is still looked down upon now, being used as a trend, or even if it's not a trend, just because it looks good to wear. So I completely understand that point of view, but I also know that different people have different ways of self-expression, and stopping someone from doing something, someone who has every right to be doing that thing, just because you don't think that they're being respectful enough, or you don't think that is the way that they should go in life, is in itself an entirely different conversation that I do not think that we should be having when it comes to hair, or just anything in general that infringes on a person's specific human right. It's just hair. So the first 2 weeks, it was just itch. Like, the itch was itching. Like, I remember having my whole spiky hair thing going on. I love how I'm talking about it like it was ages ago. Like I'm like 84 years old and I'm talking about my life to my grandkids. But anyways, I had my whole spiky hair thing going on, and all I could think about was how damn itchy my scalp was. Like, I was finally living on my emo girl dreams, but I'm just at work, like, because I didn't have the correct needle, my crochet was looser than most. So it started to pull out like a week after I got it done. A bit sooner than that, but let's just call it a week. Let's call it a week for the sake of my sanity. And the reason I did not have the correct needle was because it is very hard to find them where I live without just buying them online. And I didn't have an account back then or all kinds of things. I'm young. So I ended up just buying one of those crochet hooks that they use for yarn and just doing my hair with those. Basically, I looked like that Barbie doll meme, and I ended up finishing off that 2 weeks with my very first retwist and a half-assed attempt at a YouTube video. After my first 2 weeks and a weekend, I ended up going into my new work week with a new retwist that didn't even last me a week. Really, they just didn't last me. A week after that was when I actually took a picture of my hair, and it actually surprised me how much new growth I had. I was no closer to a retwist though. July 22nd was the day that I actually decided to do something new with my retwist, and that was because I just didn't want to crochet anymore. I really didn't. I was about to go into my new work week, and the goal from the start of my lock journey was always to get my hair to a point, to a length where I could just retwist it like normally, using the more standard method of retwist, which is just like 2-strand twist, I admit that I did that a little earlier than expected, but I really just didn't want to go into work with my hair all up again. Like, I love spiky hair, don't get me wrong, but it was just a retwist, man. I wasn't keen on recrocheting my hair, knowing that it just wouldn't even stay. Knowing that it wasn't gonna stay. So I was just like, you know what? No. I'm not a big fan of retwist either, but I knew I couldn't go to work with my hair like that again. So I ended up 2-strand twisting my hair again earlier than expected. And the way that I got to do this was that I had actually tried to retwist it with my crochets. So I would take my crochet and I would try to spin it around with oil and water, and it just wasn't working. You know, it wasn't working. It wasn't staying. Obviously, since my hair was spiky, it wasn't gonna stay. So the way I got this to work was I took those individual sections of crochet and I separated them into two. I separated my hair into two, and then I 2-strand twisted each half of the crochet that I previously had. One other thing, before I started twisting, after I pulled them apart, I plaited the very top so that it would stay and not puff up, because if it puffed up, then that would be like undermining the whole point, because my hair is short, and yeah, no. So I hope I explained that clearly enough. I took my crochet, I split it down the middle, plaited the top, and then 2-strand twisted it down all the way to the bottom, and that was my retwist. This is what I have going on here now. It's been a little over a week, 1 week and 2 days. Now, unlike before, I am experiencing some unraveling with my bigger locks. The little ones are staying. I don't know if you can see it from here, but the bigger ones have been splitting, have been unraveling, and I constantly have to be like twisting them back in. But I know that that's just all part of the process, and it is what I would have been going through if I had started just 2-strand twisting in the first place. And I'm just happy to be able to go on this lock journey at all. So I don't really mind it. I know that it'll stay eventually, and that's it. Actually, separating my crochets as well actually helped me to appreciate my locks more, because from the get-go I hadn't been able to see the different stages that my hair was going through, because they were all just like crocheted so tightly, and I was like, well, I know it's locking, but I just can't see it, you know, because it looks the same. While separating my hair, I was like actually surprised at how much hair like had been shedding into the locks, because it had only been like a month and 2 weeks, and I was like, wow, this early. It's not like I haven't started locks before. I started locks on my own once a few months before I started this set, and they pulled out when I washed my hair like a month afterwards. I just didn't put them back in because I was just like, you know what, never mind. But even then, I had seen the hair that was shedding, and it was so much hair, and I was like, oh my god, my hair sheds this much in a month? Like, the locks were actually forming. Like, I was like ruining the day I decided to wash my hair, because I'm not just talking about like a little retwist, a little like pulling out, a little unraveling, because I would have been able to do that back. Like, everything pulled out. I'm telling you, my hair texture is like pretty soft. So as soon as I put all that water on it, everything just came loose. My hair doesn't look soft, but it is soft. It just came loose, and I just didn't want to put it back in. I was frustrated. I was like, I've had this for a month, how dare you? So I just didn't end up starting it back. But this is my second set of locks now, and I am happy. I'm happy. This is the second set of locks that I've actually kept for longer than a week. Don't ask. I think I've started locks like 4 times now. So I'm gonna be counting my locks now on camera. Beautiful. I think I need things to section it with.
Give me a second.
4, 5. Wait, let me count that again. When I started my locks, I had 64 I keep thinking 56 because that's the amount I had when I just decided to start locks for the first time. So I'm gonna see how many locks my hair is at now, because I know that I've combined some of the smaller ones, like at the sides and in the back. So this is 5, and then we're gonna go on. My hair got longer. I don't think I could do this as comfortably before. My hair grows pretty quick actually, so this isn't even that surprising. That's 32. I finished counting and I have 63 locks. I actually thought it would be less because, as I said before, I had 64 when I was starting out. But it is 63, so I still have most of my locks down for now. I already filmed the outro, but I will just say it again. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this video, or on this beginning of this journey. And I will be filming more videos like this and posting them, and just other videos in general. So if you are up for that, if you're down for that, please subscribe and we can continue on this journey on this channel together. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.